Welcome back to Falling Fox Gaming, everybody. I'm your host Blaine, and today we're picking up with a brand new game, Dyson Sphere Program. Now this is a fantastic game, and first of all, you get to be this guy. You're a giant mech. That's a win-win right there. Second of all, you get to stand in the water and feel like an awesome... Well, okay, I guess you're gonna fly. Well, anyways, this is Dyson Sphere Program. Now, Dyson Sphere Program is an early access game still, unfortunately, even though, based on what I've seen, it seems like it's pretty much a flushed out game. You start off on this tiny little planet. Pretty much all the planets are kind of tiny like this, which is fantastic. And the whole goal is to eventually build a Dyson Sphere around a star. Right there, that guy. Now, if you're unaware of what a Dyson Sphere is essentially a gigantic, we'll say, circle box around the sun to collect its energy, harness its energy. Now, one thing you can note just right now is that everything in this game is modeled, the star system and everything. So the sun, the other planet over there, we're moving. Everything is always moving. Not only that, but if you scroll back a little bit, you can see that there's a lot to this single planet, but that's not all. If we zoom back even further, you can see our solar system. There's our other big planet that we're kind of orbiting around. There's the sun. There's another planet right there. And if you scroll back even further, look at all those stars. So that's the scale of the game. If you've ever played Factorio, you would have a general idea of what this game is like. Now, I personally have never actually played it. I've never played any of these type of games, but this game caught my eye because it is very simplified compared to those games. It's very user-friendly. Now, as you can see here, I have a whole bunch of junk going on. There's a lot of different things, a lot of different machines clicking. You see a lot of electricity symbols. And today, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the different things you can do in this game, and we're going to progress a bit. Now, I was going to start a new game and show you everything from scratch, but honestly, the tutorial pop-ups are a huge annoyance, so I decided to start like this. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about what I've actually set up and what else we can do in the game. Now, when you start the game, you get to pop open the technology tree right here. So these are the options you're kind of shown. First, you learn how to make simple magnetic coils. Then you learn how to make a smelter. And a matrix slab, which we haven't even crafted yet, an assembly machine, and if you go up here, conveyor belts, and sorters, and storage containers. That's kind of it. That's as far as we really are if you look at everything. We're not that far into the game, but I progressed this far mostly to get rid of all the tutorial stuff so it wasn't in our way. But this is what I want to show you. This is a very big game. This tech tree is not a joke. There's a lot of stuff to learn in this. Look at this. This is a lot of things. But this game is very simple and very user-friendly and beginner-friendly. Now, this has taken me, I don't know, an hour to do. And what this has done is produced all of the basic resources we use to craft in the game so far. From over here, we have these cool little nodes. These ones here, if we click on them, I think you can click on them, scroll over them, here we go. Stone veins. So those allow you to collect stone. We built a machine that collects stone. Then we built a conveyor belt over here, and then a sorting machine that puts it in a storage chest. From there, it goes into a smelter. From that smelter, it creates nothing because I forgot to select it. We're going to create stone bricks. And these are kind of the generic items that we have so far to craft. Well, anyways, before that, so from the stone bricks, it's going to craft or put them in the storage container here. So it'll basically continuously build 1,000,000 of them. Currently, in our entire game, this is all we can craft. We have iron ingots, copper ingots, and stone bricks. That's the basic stuff. The slightly more advanced is the magnets, which we'll combine with iron or copper ingots to get magnetic coils. Glass, which we use stone to create. Then down here is gears, which we just simply use iron ingots to create. And then circuit boards, which is iron ingots and copper ingots. And we have not crafted the actual research stuff yet, so we're going to hold off on that. And then the other thing is the buildings. So every building needs energy, and what we have is wind turbines to collect energy, and then Tesla towers to spread the energy out. So let me show you how you place things down. So clicking on the energy thing here, the wind turbine, we can see that our energy is pretty low. Our load is very high, and our satisfaction is going down. So what we're going to do is we're going to place down a new wind turbine. So we just simply click 1, and then you could do F4, and then you just place it somewhere where it's not colliding with some other things. I'm going to go ahead and just place it over here. Oh, that should work just fine right there, yep. And once that's built, it will automatically connect itself to the rest of the line. Now, because we actually have a lot of stuff going on, we're actually still running pretty low. So I'm going to actually make I have a couple of them already made, but I'm going to go place them down. I'm going to place them in areas that I'm generally not going to build, but still connect to our system. So something like that guy, and something like that guy. And I think I have 2 more made, so I'm just going to go ahead and throw them both down, because the entire reason I did this was so we didn't have to worry about it for a while. So those are all made, and they get made by these little drones that pop out, and they kind of complete things for you. Now, if you look, our energy draw is quite erratic, and that's because we have a lot of different assembly machines going on. I would imagine normally when you get better at this game, you can set things up on their own, like energy systems, and be a lot more proficient in it. But what we're going to do is we're going to head on over here, and we're going to set up this same type of system somewhere else to kind of show you guys what I've done. So we'll start here. Now, right here is some copper, I believe. Let's, oh. So yeah, so right here we have some more copper. So if we want to collect copper over here, what we would do is you would go ahead and build yourself wrong thing. You'd go to gathering, mining machine. You would go ahead and just rotate it.
To rotate the mining machine for covering
just
more veins.
like
the more veins covered, the faster the ores will be gathered. If you want to ignore grid
just like that. Why is the tutorial popping? See, that's what I was trying to skip. Annoying. Anyways, so that is it. So that's our first mining machine. That was exactly how I started the game. And then you go on over to power, and you need a wind turbine. Now you need to craft it. So if you double click it, it brings you to the crafting menu, and it shows you everything you need to craft it. Now we already have the resources in our inventory, and when you start the game you actually have them in your inventory already, because the game starts you off with some items. So we're going to produce 1 wind turbine, and that is completed, and you see it got added to our inventory over there. So back over here, we'll push 1, and then F4, and we can now create our wind turbine. So we just plop that guy down there. And you see it doesn't automatically power the system. I mean, you saw the drone that came on and built it. Watch when we do the Tesla tower as well. The energy grid goes based off of the circle of the Tesla tower. So that's more of what we're gauging rather than the circle of the wind turbine. The circle of the wind turbine is just where the Tesla tower has to be touching. So we'll click that right there. And then the drone will go out, build it. And there we go. That is now producing copper. It'll build copper ore up to 50. I believe this one will build. And that's it, and then it'll just kind of sit idle. Now we obviously want to turn that copper into something, so the next thing to do is the smelter. So we don't have a smelter, so we'll have to craft one. So let's go ahead and craft one now. And the cool thing about this game is if you have an item you want to craft, you can actually skip crafting everything down below by yourself. If you have the resources to do it, it will automatically queue everything up for you to skip that step. So now that we have a smelter, let's go ahead and place it down. Push 5, F1, and then we can do a smelter. Now, you generally want to have kind of a backed up line, from my understanding. Is generally, you can do this kind of however you want. I am not super proficient yet at the game, but I'm going to build it within my energy circle, so that way I don't have to build a new energy source. So we'll click it right there, and then the drone will go out. He will craft it, and then we're going to go ahead and lay down some conveyor belts. So conveyor belts, something like this, and we're going to do it all the way in front like that. So the drones will craft the conveyor belts, and then we do sorters, which will take them from the conveyor belt. Let's actually make sure it's inside the energy sphere. Click on there, and then click on the building, and now once it's built, the sorter will automatically take the copper off of here and put it in there. But first we have to actually select what the smelter is making. So I am going to have it make copper ingots. Click, and there. It will completely automate that process. Unless I do something to interrupt this process, it will basically do this forever, well, until this is full. But to get around that, we simply have to do storage containers. Now, a storage container takes up a little bit of space, but one thing that I've learned is that I tend to put it behind the buildings. And you could actually build it as far away as you want, but I tend to put it a couple spaces away, like maybe 1 or 2 spaces away. And then that actually allows you to build a sorter
storage, which can be used
right
to store
from
cargo.
the smelter to your storage
or
container.
Use the sorter to automatically
And now
stock the
that
cargo.
is pretty much done. That will continue to make iron ingot or copper ingots pretty much forever until this is completely full. That's a long time, so I'm just going to let that be, and I'm not going to touch it again. This is going to be where I'm going to collect copper ingots from here on out. And I'm going to go ahead and find a spot to do the same thing with iron, because I noticed that iron is required a lot too. And I don't see a spot for iron. Okay, well, seeing as there's not a spot for iron nearby, let me show you what else you can do. Your robot requires fuel down here, so one thing you can do is you can collect resources from basic things like trees or rocks by yourself if you wanted to. You can even do that with the copper, so you can just sit here and collect copper by yourself. You see how slow it is though, so you'd probably never really do that. Or you go to these things here, if you scroll over it tells you what you get from it, and you collect it, 9 plant fuel. You can go on open to your character menu here, your mech panel as they call it, and you can take your different fuels, such as the plant life, and add it to your fuel bar here, and it'll tell you how much extra fuel you have in your fuel chamber. So I'm going to go ahead and add the wood that I collected as well, because I don't need that for anything else right now. So there. So with all that right there, I have 227 MJ, I'm guessing that's megajoules or something, of extra power. And my max is 140 currently. So once that drains, it'll automatically fill up that amount. And that's kind of the basics. That is pretty much everything that they teach you in the tutorial, which takes a little while, primarily because the talking kind of gets in the way of everything. So as long as you guys understand that, and I'm going to assume you do at this point, I'm going to kind of play a little bit and set a couple things up, and then I'm going to come back to you guys. So we return after a short little break, and what I did was I basically created the similar system to our copper ingot farm that we made over there. I made an iron ingot farm over there too, because those are kind of two things that I tend to need, and I don't actually have this place set up to actually collect iron ingots. They actually transform those iron ingots immediately into other things. So I decided that I wanted to have an actual bank of them saved up while we're doing other things. But the next step of our journey is actually advancing our research. So how we do that is when we go into our technology tree, if we click on something, we can actually see what's required to make it. So say the electromagnetic drive. So in order to do that, if we clicked on it, you can see we need 50 of these blue cubes. So if we activate it, it now queues it up. Now we need 50 of those blue cubes, but I don't have any of those. So what we need to do is we need to create a research lab, or a matrix lab, sorry. And that requires all these ingredients down below. Now they gave us one automatically, so we're gonna go ahead and use it. And I don't actually know where to put it, so I'm just gonna kind of drop it down here in the center, and I feel like I'm gonna regret that in the future, but for now,
Matrix
whatever.
lab.
Alright, so what we do is we actually wanted to create the blue cubes, the electromagnetic matrix. And what that does, it requires one circuit and one electromagnetic to create one blue cube, the electromagnetic matrix. Click on that, and that's what's now queued up, which means we need to give it magnetic coils and circuit boards continuously. That's going to take a little bit of work to do, because down over here is our little electromagnetic bank. We have a bunch of them saved up, which is why, as you can see, I'm a couple hours into my game, because I have been kind of farming stuff for a little while, just that way I can do this very easily. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a conveyor belt just like this over here. Bink. And then I believe you push one or two to go up a level. I don't remember how to do it. I haven't actually done it yet. Go up one level is up. There we go. Have it go over it. Perfect. and then have it go back down. Yep, there we go. So I believe it should even itself out right there. Like that. I believe that is how you do that. Nope, I screwed it up already. So the thing that's really nice about this game is if you screwed up, this is a perfect example to show you. You can just simply delete it. That's all you gotta do. It's very easy to work with. You get the items right back in your inventory so you don't lose anything. That is probably my favorite thing so far from this game. And it looks like you need a little bit of leeway room before you go up and over. So we're gonna have to back this up even more. So let's go ahead and just delete all these right here. We didn't do it from a good starting point, so we're gonna have to kind of come from around the corner over here. And we'll go straight from there to building it up. Come on, build it up. I feel like they should automatically kind of, you know, figure out what you're doing. And then there we go. Now there may be easier ways to do that, but that's kind of what I'm able to work out. Like I said, not a pro at this game, still learning it, so that will have to do for now. So that will feed the electromagnetics into that building once you create our little sorters. Click on that and click. Oh, come on, really? I need to build one more conveyor belt level over to equal it out. There, you happy? Boop, there we go. So we have electromagnetics going into it, and we need one other thing. What was that? Circuit boards. So where are our circuit boards? Over here. Now, again, I have the bank of them right here, storage. So this one should be a lot easier. This one is pretty straightforward. We just go from here, go up a level. Whoop, there, maybe. Can we go up a level like here? Or can we go up I'm not sure how it dictates where it goes up a level, because when I click up, it doesn't do anything here. Oh, it just did a whole bunch of levels, so I see the problem. Okay, it's trying to create a lot of different things right now, and I think I'm confusing it. So we're just going to kind of slow it down here by going up. Right there. Perfect. And that should be flawlessly done, right? I mean, you know what? That's not flawless, but it looks like it'll at least work if I do that. Oh, there we go. That's what I wanted to do. And then we go down once more. Yep, there we go. And across. And that's all it's going to take. We just create our little sorting machines. Click from there to the conveyor belt. And so the thing to note is that direction matters in this game. So wherever you start the click, like first click here, then second click here, that's the direction of it. So if I would have clicked on the conveyor belt first in the building, it would have tried to put stuff from the conveyor belt into the building. So you do have to make sure you're doing it the right direction. Now, however, we should be having the blue cubes being created. Yep, here we go. So now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a storage chest for these guys, because that's how I like doing everything. I like the storage chest because it saves me time in the future. I'm going to go ahead and just do, can I actually do a sorter from the research lab to the storage? Yes, I can. And that's my favorite thing to do right there. So you don't have to do a conveyor belt if you build it close enough. So if we click on that, we'll now have a bunch of cubes gathering up, and we'll be able to use those for research. Alright, so we're actually out of time for today's episode. I know we haven't actually used the research, but I'll show you guys that next time. I hope you guys really enjoyed this. This is actually a really cool game. It's a game I managed to pick up, and I was going to say, you know, I'll play it for an hour or two, and I just kind of sunk myself into it, and it's fantastic. It's a great mind think game, and in general, if you like kind of sorting and organizing, you'll probably love this game too. I hope that you guys enjoyed this, because I would like to do some more of it in the future, so please leave a like and subscribe if you did, and I'll see you guys next time.